Hi, welcome to the C-Suite podcast. I'm Tara Doyle Enneking, the president and CEO of the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce. And I tell you, there's a buzz in the room. We've got some energy going for sure. We know this girl's got a little bit of energy, but when we match it with one of my cohorts here in this community, I think we just might spontaneously explode. I am so excited to welcome Bryan Reynolds, who is the owner, creator, innovator, business coach, generous influencer of Anthem Coffee. I am so excited to sit down and learn more about his journey. I'm excited for you to learn more about this wonderful asset in our community. Mr. Bryan Reynolds, come on in. Ooh, we got some music.
What an awesome introduction.
We always gotta be dancing. Can we just dance for a little while? Burn a few more calories.
Oh, that song is so good. You have to, if you've not heard that song, Google Sheesh.
Sheesh.
And crank it in your car with the windows down. Let the people know.
Jeez, sheesh. I love it, sheesh. I love it. That's some good vibes, man.
Fun?
You and I, we just
cool
walk around with good vibes. Are you ever down?
Yes.
What?
Occasionally.
Okay.
But then I play that song and I'll be like, sheesh.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I tell you, we got some poop spontaneously combusting going on here. I'm
so
sure with that energy.
I have down times. I have tough times.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
I feel like you've shared those down times and they've actually been fairly pivotal in your life. So I do hope we work our way into that conversation today.
We can go
for those who
want.
don't know. So again, Bryan Reynolds, gosh, you're a bit of an icon here in Puyallup, I will say.
That's very generous and kind.
Well, you are.
I'm just so grateful to this community. It's been, 17 years since we've been doing business here. Graduated from Rogers High School.
Yes.
Moved here when I was like 8 years old. From San Diego, so I got a little bit of California in me, kind of.
Oh, me too.
But I
no wonder we have this
we got the California
connection.
vibe. We do. But as soon as I saw the mountain, and as soon as the rain hit my hair, it turned brown, and I became a Washington guy. So I love it here, and I love Puyallup. Is there a greater city?
There's not a greater city. Well, Sumner's pretty dang great
Sumner's
too.
decent.
Hello.
As well.
They're pretty wonderful.
Top notch, Sumner. Shout out Sumnertown, USA.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you started taking us there, and so I'm going to go ahead and get us back there.
Yeah.
Most important to start with the journey is the beginning. So you did jump to Rogers High School. I'm more excited about little baby Bryan. Who was Bryan?
Yeah.
What kind of mischief was he getting into? Was he a good kid? What did he want to be when he grew up? Man, there's a lot there. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I think if we go all the way back, man, I lived in El Cajon, which is San Diego, a little suburb of that area.
Yeah.
And my dad spent his entire career working for Camping World, and Camping World ended up opening a location out here in Fife. But I remember, being a kid, I was super into skateboarding. I was into taking apart electronics.
Ooh.
So I loved to tinker, like take it apart, break it, but then like put it back together and make it work.
Yep.
Super into
Crafty,
that. That was
nice.
weird. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
But gosh, moved up here, settled in.
Were you brothers, sisters? Where are you and your family?
I had just had a little baby sister born. So when we moved up here, I'm 6 years older than her. Always into some kind of. I would always push back. Here's a story. I grew up in a home where my parents they would not be afraid to give me a little spanking if I acted up.
Amen.
and so I was at we were at the grocery store. I was driving my mom nuts or doing something, and so she goes, "Okay, Bryan, well, you know the deal. When we get home, you'll get a spanking." I said, "Give me 2."
Oh.
She goes, "Okay, well, you can have 2." I said, "Why don't you give me 3?" And I just kept climbing up. So I was that guy kind of, and I didn't realize what I was getting into. All the way up to about 12.
Bold
12 of them.
or all of it, huh?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe she would wipe it after I got into double digits, but
no, she just
it
added.
didn't. And that's the thing is my mom and dad were so true to their word growing up. I had great boundaries and great safe environment to learn, to fail, to make mistakes and
consequences.
You got there's So I had a lot of them. I remember my mom teaching me a kind of a lesson too of just being aware of your surroundings. I was very all over the place, and I would flail my arms and knock everything over or just whatever.
Yeah.
I'd hide in the clothes rack at J.C. Penney's and just hide there, kind of thinking it was some just stupid stuff, and Bryan, there's other people in this world. You got to be aware of your surroundings. So that was really a good lesson growing up. So anyway, started there, moved here, my dad launched the 5 Camping World, like I said. Fast forward, my parents ended up, as they were about to become empty nesters, they ended up fostering and adopting a little girl who by the age of 5 had been through a bunch of foster homes around here. And they just were so compelled and moved by the story that they said, man, we can do something about this, And they did. So they adopted her, gave her a last name and a forever home, and that was kind of one of the riskiest things that my parents had ever done. They really played it safe in their entire journey growing up. We always played it safe. Yeah. And in fact, I was actually, before we even considered any kind of business stuff, my parents had invested so much in me playing baseball. I thought I was going to be a pro baseball player.
Yeah.
All 5'8" of me. I don't know.
Hey, could you hit the ball?
I could hit the ball a ton.
Could you catch the ball?
And it's all in the hips. You just got to be able to get it just right.
It's a little bit like golf. That's why you're a good golfer too.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I played select leagues. I traveled all over the U.S. Wow. They just were so gracious in that. But all of that didn't go to waste. It was all, in some sense, training for what I would do later, which is business.
Yeah.
Business, I would say, is like a full contact sport. It's one of the hardest. It's not for the faint of heart. Let's just say that. It's not for the faint of heart. Business.
There's no glory.
There is. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And there's so much truth to that statement. But if you're driven by mission, if you're driven by something that's outside of, anything else, it's got to be mission driven, and I think that's where we landed. Specifically, again, my parents choosing to adopt and foster children. They ended up fostering 8 kids total, adopting 4 of them. So I have 3 additional sisters and a brother I've always wanted in my life now. So that, in doing so, gave us kind of this wild hair to go, like, how do we get my dad to be retired sooner and be more involved and invested in these kids' lives? Yeah. So my wife threw the idea out, what if we do a coffee shop? And
I know that's how that all
why not it could have been it could have been any other thing, but it ended up being coffee.
You could be given manicures and pedicures.
Yeah, who knows? I could be that guy. And I would do the same thing that I'm doing now, which I would try to create a unique experience for people that would change their life and make them want to come back again and again and again. So
you got that model down.
It just so happened that, this felt like a good idea to us all. Yeah. There was a local franchise coming up on the scene called Forza Coffee. Okay. They had 7 or 8 stores at the time, and then we had the opportunity to be the 10th store in the franchise, and we went for it. All chips in, no looking back, no idea what we're doing. I was 23.
Wow.
Just turned 40, so like I said, we've been doing this a minute, and the things that I've learned and the opportunities that my parents have afforded me, better than a college education. I've said this before. No knock on college. It's just, for me, I'm a hands-on learner. I need to be kind of all the way back to taking things apart, right? And so just learning the hard way. It's been so fun. And now what's so fun for me, not just running the business, being a practitioner, but also being able to help other business leaders and entrepreneurs through business coaching. I'm having the time of my life doing that. You could write the manual.
Absolutely. So Forza, so we did a rebranding and kind of went in that direction. What was behind that, and why Anthem? And there's certainly a culture there. I'd like to hear how that got established.
Yeah. Well, I would say that we kind of had our culture established from day one. As soon as we opened, even though we were wearing this uniform of Forza Coffee, I think we always behaved as Anthem in our hearts. Does that make sense? So and really, just
probably because you're attracting that you wanted to bring there. So
and truthfully too, I always teach people this: we are the brand, you are the brand. If you run you're the brand of the chamber. So go you, so goes the chamber. So goes me, so goes the Anthem. And when you realize that as a leader, you have that responsibility to be the brand. I infuse that into that organization, even though we were Forza, another name, for so long. And so we did a 5-year agreement with them, no non-compete to worry about afterwards or anything. And we fulfilled that obligation, honorably. And at the end of the deal there, I remember this was, I was just reflecting on this. It was October 31st, 2011. So Halloween. We do that. How downtown has the Halloween candy deal, trick or treat thing.
So
And then as soon as we were...
It's called Puyallup, by the way,
It's
Bryan.
the coolest name ever.
Puyallup, next to
best
Puyallup.
thing, yeah, Puyallup is
And
the best.
Puyallup.
Yes. So we finished that, and it was like, okay, close the doors, lock them, and let's start tearing everything down, because we did this. We ended up doing a 72-hour extreme home makeover renovation.
Oh, cool.
On that downtown location.
Yeah.
Didn't sleep. I slept on the pew.
Oh,
I don't know if you've been in our shops. We have the little pew that has a little pad on it. But
absolutely.
For 72 hours, we crushed it. We flipped it. It became Anthem. And how did we land on that name?
Yeah.
I always flip the script when people ask that and go, what's your anthem? What's your passion? What's your purpose? What's the thing that makes you want to wake up and live life to the fullest? You know what I'm saying? And we hope that we can help you discover your anthem at Anthem Coffee.
Right.
That's the commercial,
I love the anthem.
But that's really the heart. Like, what's your anthem?
Mantra, anthem.
Right.
Got it.
Anthem Coffee. We've always been louder. We've been a little bit more wild. I mean, there were times, in fact, there was a time I had the megaphone. I pulled out this bullhorn and was taking people's orders in line with the bullhorn.
Yeah.
And that became kind of like our little icon. Yeah. So our tagline these days, live loud, love louder. That's more important. But it's hopefully when you drink Anthem Coffee, you have this confidence and audacity to get on with the day and go where no man or woman has gone before.
So how many locations now? How many employees?
We're up to 7 locations and about 67 employees at the moment.
Wow.
Learned so much through COVID, being able to just run efficiently, more effectively. You had to get super smart and creative and do some wild things. And so, we had 8 stores, only lost 1 through all of that. But we're 7 stores strong, doing more with 7 than we did with 8.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And then we have
efficiency is
several stores on the horizon too, which I'm excited to share
Anything
about in the
to announce?
Nothing to announce quite yet, but stay tuned. It's going to be a wild year. There will be a lot of announcements.
Oh, you deserve it. That's awesome.
It's so fun.
so you are you, and you are you for a lot of reasons. Talk about some of your greatest influencers, folks that made their impression on you.
Invested in me. And man. Oh, well, I mean, immediately my mom and dad, my grandma was always just this lady who made me believe that I could really do anything.
I love it.
And would just fan that flame, and it's just amazing. I think of so many business leaders and voices from local legend Sean Manley. I think of Delano's Coffee Roasters, David Morris. I think of, and I just, there's so many names and people who took time and kind of, they recognized something in me, but they weren't afraid to call out the bad stuff too in me and help refine those things.
Yep, that's so key.
And then they would give me time. They would I would come to them with tons of questions and an openness to learn. I mean, I know that I'm not a know-it-all and never will be, and never will I arrive. And so I'm always on this quest to know more, to become better in every area of my life. And so whenever I see anyone really, who's doing a phenomenal job in some regard, I'm like, it just means a lot to grab a moment with them and go, how did you get where you're at? What do you do? Like, what are you doing? What's behind this?
An inquisitive mind you have.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn. I mean, and it's just like golf. Every shot that you take in golf, you're learning, right? And so it's the same in the business world and in life, really. I'm a student of the game, of life, of the game of business, of the game of golf. Man.
Student has become teacher. We cultivate and foster mentorships. Really get behind that here in the chamber, and it sounds like you've had organically some mentors. Would you call that?
Big time. Yep.
And it sounds like you still stay in touch and aren't afraid to ask the questions. I think something you brought up with that that boldness, that someone was honest to you too, because I think of all the cheerleaders along my way that I like hearing the good stuff, but truth be told, my true mentors have been the ones that tell me the brutal, honest truth and or challenge my thinking. How important is that, would you say? And is that what you talk to business owners about as well, having that person in your life to maybe challenge the other perspective? Or is that what you're doing?
That's the role I play a lot of times, because a lot of business owners are just in the grind. They're just they're wearing every hat, and it's not systematic, in their approach to how to run their business. Their business runs them. And so, what I'm able to do is help them zoom out a bit. Now, I had to go through this in my own life. Like, I was wearing every hat, doing everything. I had a mindset of a wantrepreneur, not an entrepreneur. So a wantrepreneur thinks, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Yep.
An entrepreneur empowers people and entrusts responsibility and trains up and makes people around them better. It's like, I don't want to be the one to win the gold ribbon in a baking competition. I want to be able to teach 7 to 10, 15, 20 people how to bake better than I could ever bake and win the gold ribbons. So it's a different philosophy.
Sure.
And it was at the time when I was in the entrepreneur mindset, thinking that I was the only, if I want it done right, I got to do it myself. It was very restrictive. And it locked me into a jail sentence in the form of a job. I hate that. I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but that's really how I felt.
Right.
That's how and I thought we built this. I thought we started a business so that we could have freedom and do whatever, right?
Yeah.
That was nowhere to be found, and so I ended up experiencing burnout after that. Just endless grind, opening the shops 5 a.m., staying till 10 o'clock at night, and just ran ragged by business. And I just said, there's got to be another way. I had to take a month off from work after my burnout, kind of heal up, get some fresh air, explore a little bit, become a human being again instead of just a human doing, checking boxes like a robot. And it was through that season of going, I got to come back and do this different, that I wrote mission, vision, values down. Again, one of my mentors, Sean Manley, just for years straight would be like, dude, have you got your guiding principles figured out yet? Have you got your mission, vision? No, Sean, look at us. We're doing great. There's a line out the door. We're doing really good. Do I really need those? Yeah. And ultimately, again, first 5 years of business, then burnout happened. Now I'm celebrating 12 years of sustained success because we have boundaries. We have beliefs that drive our behaviors in the form of these guiding principles. Mission, vision, values. I mean, the moment I wrote all that stuff down, I was able to come back to my team and had finally something to entrust to them, right? To empower them with, to allow them to make decisions and take risks even, right, in this organization. So, and that's when we began to scale. As soon as I started to replicate myself and others.
Thank you, Sean Manley.
Yes, seriously. Wouldn't be where we're at today without that voice, his voice in my life. And this is what I'm loving to see happen in business owners and leaders around the area here that I get to connect with. Just, it's freeing to get that stuff established, and then that's the beginning of scaling your business. Because when you scale or when you grow or when you add new locations, you scale the good with the bad. Right. So if there's a bunch of bad, weird stuff in the culture of your company, all that gets amplified, right? Yeah. Unless you set some stuff on purpose and on paper and you go, here's how we're going to do this. And you got, and that it actually, then you're looking at it like, I wrote that means we have to stick to this kind of thing. Yeah. Which means I might not, I probably shouldn't keep that employee, or maybe we shouldn't open in this location or carry this certain product. Sure. It should inform every decision that you make. And really it's in a sober-minded moment that you're designing these guiding principles, not when you're weak and weary. And so many people just, like I said, get run ragged running their business, and weary people make weary decisions.
I like that. I agree.
Yeah.
When you're training your staff, and if we're sort of one of them now, thinking of you as a leader, 17 years ago versus now, what kinds of evolution points would you say? I used to be this kind of leader. I feel like I've evolved to this kind of leader. What's that journey look like for you?
Oh, man. Well, leading is serving, period.
Yes.
And you can walk away from that. I mean, you can just go,
okay, done.
That leading isn't my way or the highway. Leading isn't dictatorship. Leading isn't, trying to get to the highest level and overstepping everyone, right? Leading is literally serving. So I think, I was heading on a pathway to become a product of things that I had seen in other cutthroat CEOs or business people. Right. And again, shout out to Sean Manley. I remember him pulling me aside. I mean, listen, he was our greatest customer. Oh, yeah. Every day he's in there. So he's seeing everything that's going on.
You got a lot of free therapy there. You got free coaching.
I'm telling you what.
He's my Obi-Wan Kenobi, by the way.
I remember you saying that. But he pulls me aside one day, Tara, and he goes, Bryan, no one on your team likes you.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Startling reality. And it was because of the way I led. I led very, I would say aggressively, not assertively.
Were you gruff?
I was gruff. I really believed this idea that you had one chance to make a great first impression.
Yeah.
And that was the mission.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not heroic hospitality. Not,
that's a shift.
Not live loud, love louder. It was, you got one chance to make a great first impression. Don't screw it up. That's kind of the heart behind it. So it was like, why didn't you greet that person? They just walked in.
Yeah.
Why aren't you moving faster? Why are you
everybody
the
on their
drink stacking
toes?
up? It was terrible.
Yeah.
And I thought I was
nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I thought I was protecting my parents' investment. I thought I was doing the right thing.
Yep.
And he pulled me aside that day, said that to me, and he said, you really need to think about how you're communicating to people. Are you inspiring them, or are you causing them to feel deflated? And then the words of my mom ring again, going, Bryan, be aware of your surroundings. Gosh, just this whole thing's a journey, and it's
it is a journey.
I don't think there's one book that can go, this is exactly how you could lead well. But I think that started my journey of self-awareness and learning, like, if I do this, what's the reaction? Or if I, learning how to even communicate with people. The fact is, you have to know your people, who they are and how they're wired. So if we're talking about new team members that are coming on board, one of my favorite things to do is to have them take a personality test.
Yes, absolutely.
But then also to find out, like, why did they choose to work here? Because literally they could work anywhere.
Sure.
But while they're here, what is it that they hope to learn? What skill do they want to hone and develop to get where it is they want to go in the future? And I think because we set the stage that way for team members, we experience longevity, loyalty, of employment.
Well, it's baked in that you care about their personal growth.
Well, 1,000,000%.
Not just their professional, job they're doing.
Our job is to build people. When you build people, people build the business. And so
absolutely.
That's, I believe
guy.
it. We try it. We do that, and it works.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
Cool. Okay, professional hack or personal hack or both. And then a golf hack too.
Oh, 100. Oh, this is so fun. You ask the best questions. Personal hack, professional hack, golf hack. Okay. Well, personal hack. Okay, personal hack just on life, like how I just enjoy life more, right?
Sure.
Can I just share
Absolutely.
from the heart? Can
Absolutely.
I just do that?
Do that.
Big fan of charcuterie, okay? Gonna be honest with you. Got a tackle box and started putting little I pre-make a little charcuterie in a tackle box. My friends named it this. They called it the snackle box. So, and I love craft beer or wine or bourbon, with my little charcuterie. So, for some reason, it's the cathartic behavior of kind of let me get the cashews with the little meat deal and the white cheddar, and then hit it with the pretzel deal, right? And then a little sip of whatever.
Have it in its compartments, and
that's my hack. Like, you gotta find the thing
tackle box
that gives you a little kind of an opportunity to brief. I know I had another friend who, at the end of every workday, they would go to Tacoma Boys, buy a steak and then cook. It's like their wind down method. So I think that's my wind down thing. That's my hack for personal. For business, it's got to be just find and identify people who are smarter than you, better than you, stronger than you in every area that you're weak.
I love it.
And surround yourself with them and hire them as fast as you can to supplement your weaknesses. And
perfect.
And then just lead them somewhere. Nobody wants to it's tough to follow a leader that doesn't have vision, right? So I'm thankful that I've got a really great team of smart players around me that help us do what we do every day at Anthem.
Yep.
I don't do it all.
Clearly.
I don't want to do it all. I can't do it all. So that's the hack for professional. And then golf.
Yes.
You might see me play and go, you are a hack. But I'm getting better. Tara,
I've heard you're good, and I want to golf with you.
I've even got a golf coach now. So shout out Chris Ming at High Cedars.
Okay, nice.
Golly, the hack for me with golf that I'll share. First of all, I just view it as it's medicine. It's a prescription for me for life, right? So, a lot of people go out and golf and they'll get so mad if they miss hit or something, slam the club down. I love putting myself in uncomfortable situations and in a position where I have to perform or do better. And so golf is that perfect thing for that, for recreation,
sure.
to to manage stress, to connect with people. You get 4 hours with somebody on a golf course, sometimes total strangers, and you can go, tell me about your biz, and man, you just learn so many cool insights, or spend some quality time with people. My middle son is interested in golfing, and so I'm loving that quality time with him. But yeah, find an activity, hiking. Maybe you put bead necklaces together, whatever it is that fuels you up. Do more of that, because that's really some of the first stuff to go. Self-care goes out the window when you're running a small business.
And there's this little thing called soul that we do need to give care to.
You got to nurture it. Yep.
Absolutely.
Every one of those things. So.
That written on my mirror in the morning.
Yes.
How about, speaking of golf, and speaking of Sean Manley, and great partnerships and giving back to community, tell us about a golf tournament you're doing.
Should we give a little shout out here?
Let's give a little shout out. Man. I got to get my team going too. I did some little texting this morning to get
so fun.
Yep, I'll be there.
It's filling up fast, Tara.
I know. Shocked. I need to get my spot.
So
get our team.
Zach John's of Fat Zach's Pizza.
Oh, yes.
And I, first of all, we're dear friends, golf fanatics, and we've just always wanted to put on a golf tournament specifically for the Puyallup Food Bank, and just love what they're doing. It's so much more than just food. They really, and this is the reason we call it the Holes of Hope tournament. They distribute hope. They are training people, equipping people, helping to boost their confidence, grow their skills. I mean, you got to go there just to walk around, tour it, connect with Sean, connect with anyone there. The operation is run so well.
Oh, it is.
And it's serving so many people, and what a cool opportunity to see just community members and business owners rally, sponsor all the holes.
You just brought something very full circle to me just now. So again, Sean Manley, my Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. I have a master's in marriage and family therapy and wrote my master thesis on hope.
I didn't know that about
Second,
you. That's awesome.
Just got my MBA, and my MBA capstone was the Puyallup Food Bank. So I'm loving how I've kind of found myself putting this all together, and I am so impressed with that organization. And they live, breathe their culture there, and Sean is such a great leader there, and they're doing great work. So way for you to roll up your sleeves in your already very busy life, and again, pull the community together to give back. It's what these generous influencers do in the land of generous people.
We're so blessed to be able to do that, to be in a position where we are freed up in our business now to some degree to be able to go, man, what else can we do? How can we make maximum impact here? So June 9th is the tourney at High Cedars. First thing in the morning, 8:15 shotgun start. There's still some spots left for foursomes and individuals to come through. So
awesome.
Yeah, check it out. Holes of Hope.
I love it. And so I think certainly Anthem has made its mark. I'd like to think your legacy probably has more to do with this what you're doing into our community, and it is kind of back to that business coaching and how you've helped people, and I'm sure you would love people talking about you the way that we're talking about Sean, where you just know you've been that impactful and you've changed people's lives. Let's talk a little bit about talking a little bit about your business coach that you are. It's a business you're serving.
Yes.
And hopefully trying to scale it up one day, but I think we have a little nugget we might be able to pass along to these folks.
For sure.
To kind of keep that cycle going.
Yeah. Can I share with them real
I'm
quick?
wanting you to share.
You're teeing me up so perfect.
I teed you up.
Another pun. Golf.
Yes, right. Swing.
So,
here he comes.
If you go to businesscoachbryan.com, Bryan with a Y, there's a business questionnaire there. And what I want to offer you is just a complimentary discovery call. I think you'll learn a lot about yourself. This is the process of becoming self-aware.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot about yourself as you fill out this 10-question questionnaire. Might even be, it's 12 questions now. I added a couple of them.
Okay.
When you do this, pour yourself a glass of wine or a nice cup of coffee or whatever your deal is, and spend time wrestling with these questions. Because that will, make this moment all the more impactful when we get together and have a call. We'll go through that. We'll use that as a template. We'll look at what some of the pain points are that are popping out for you within your business. Hopefully be able to give you some hope. There's that theme again.
Hope.
And some direction on what you can do right away to kind of alleviate some of those pressures or whatever. But most importantly, nothing gets me out of bed faster than just getting to love and serve other business leaders, because I just believe that when leaders get better, everyone around the leader gets better. And that's why I want to spend the rest of my life, not just building leaders within my own business and scaling and growing Anthem, but I want I want to help build other great leaders within other organizations to see that ripple effect go out. So
I see a golf course, and I see at each hole these words of wisdom on a bench that are just your words of wisdom. That's the Bryan Reynolds.
That is a dream.
Is not that? And maybe a craft
Tara,
beer at
so
every
cool.
hole as well.
Yeah.
No, you are. You will certainly have a legacy. We're blessed that you're a part of this community. I'm blessed that you gave us time today.
My
You
pleasure.
swing,
Man, thank
and
you.
you swing big. Was that my last golf pun? Maybe.
I like
you never
that.
know.
Keep them coming.
No, but I'm so eternally grateful, and so great to also have you as a friend and colleague in this community.
Yes. Well, I just admire you, and I'm so grateful for how you are supporting businesses, this local community. Puyallup would not be what it is without your involvement and your investment. So we feel it, all of us.
Thank you.
We're thankful for you. So Tara, thank you.
Rock
for
it.
this.
We're going to hug it out. Woo!
Podcast coming
All
to
right.
life for y'all.
There it is.
Thanks for having me.